DeLuna Coffee. Come explore our world of coffee. Founded by the first family of Florida State Coffee and based in Pensacola, Florida, DeLuna Coffee is the driving passion of the Lemmix family. Ed, his wife Courtney, and their son Brett. Their tailgating spot out front of the Unconquered statue is their own slice of paradise. But the real delight is DeLuna's blend of Kona, Maui, Kenya, Colombian, and Brazilian beans that they call their liquid gold brew. In fact, they called it Paradise. Try it or one of their 24 blends and get a discount when you use the promo code WARCHANT15. Visit DeLunaCoffee.com and check out their Facebook and Instagram.
From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up, wake up. WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee.
Coffee's for closers only.
Now here's WarChant.com's Azan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It's Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee. DeLunaCoffee.com. Come explore our world of coffee. Once again, we're going to start the show off with our boy Josh Hayslip. By the way, happy belated birthday to the aforementioned Josh Hayslip, Corey. He's giving me knowledge on all the Blue Angel stuff that we keep talking about.
Okay,
There's plenty of great coffee blends, everybody, that DeLuna offers, but this one might be just a little bit more popular than the others because of the coolness of it. Because again, it's got a hologram like decal from the Department of Defense. He just says, "I would like to send a message this time." Although he tweeted previously. First of all, thanks for the shout out on the podcast. It was a nice surprise. It just so happened to be my birthday, so that was awesome. I haven't been listening long, probably just before the pandemic. I love your show and haven't missed an episode since. You and Corey do a great job. Gene should give you a raise. Anyway, I grew up in Pensacola, and I'm a big, huge Blue Angels fan, so Fat Albert, the support role, is for the travel of the ground crew for each jet and the parts to repair a jet. I've heard that they have full jet engines on a Fat Albert and can replace an engine at a show. He lives in Knoxville, Tennessee now. Have to relive that 98 championship game every time someone finds out I'm a Nole. Anyhow, keep up the awesome work at Warchant. Hope you and Corey keep going strong for a long time. Great show. I love it.
It sure would be nice if the Blue Angels drank DeLuna. You know what I mean? If those pilots drink DeLuna, they got to drink something, right?
Probably.
They better be wide awake.
Yeah.
They need to be wide awake. I guess I always thought that like the Blue Angels just performed in Pensacola, but do they go around the country and around the world?
I don't know. I don't know, Corey. I don't know.
It's every day I'm going to ask another Blue Angels question. Okay,
just for the remainder of May.
That's the one for today.
Just for the remainder of May until Memorial Day, and then
Yeah.
I get a respite.
Because I feel like I would have, I grew up in Atlanta or near Atlanta. I feel like if they had performed near Atlanta, my dad would have taken me because that was something my dad would have loved to see. So that's why I'm confused. I guess they have a support. I just thought they all were housed in Pensacola, but apparently they fly to different places and they fly the support crew with them in the old Fat Albert.
That's right.
Which you can get at Publix.
Yeah.
Not that Fat Albert. You can get the
Blue
Fat
Angels.
Albert blend from DeLuna.
You get the Blue Angels. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Promo code Warchant30. Hit the thumbs up button if you're listening to us on YouTube. Even subscribe to the YouTube page. We would appreciate that as well. Lots to get to with the Renegade Express, Corey. First off, though, shout out John Pock, Florida State Golf, Trae Jones, Florida State Golf, regional winners heading to the national championship in Tempe. Am I right? Or somewhere in Arizona?
Scottsdale. You're close enough. It's right there, Scottsdale.
So they went and just ran away with this one, it sounded like, huh? They won it by, I don't know, how many strokes did they win it by?
They won by 17, which is a lot.
Okay.
They were 34 under. They bogeyed. They had 2 bogeys on 18, which really cost them, or they would have won by 19 strokes. No, man, they were really good. I guess that's, I asked Trae afterwards because he's been here before. I don't think they've ever won a regional before, but they've been to the they finished in the top 5, which is what you have to do plenty of times, and gone on to nationals, and they've never won it. They've come close. They made it to the Final Four one year and lost to Augusta State. And I did ask him if he feels as good about this team as he has any other team moving on to nationals. He said absolutely. He's like, no coach ever wants to compare teams, but he said with someone like John Pock, it always helps. Like he's had teams with Koepka and Berger, but somebody like John Pock, who you can count on in the final stages of a tournament, is a nice feather in your cap. So yeah, Pock didn't even have the highest score of the team. I think he finished -8. He finished in 5th place, and Norman finished in 4th place. So the way it works in golf, and we'll move on. The way it works in college golf, you play 5 players, you take your 4 best scores. So a kid that shoots like a 79, but everybody else is under par, well, you don't have to count that 79. Well, their guys are all so good that normally they're all being counted, and they did all five had scores that were counted. The kid on Wednesday, he shot a 2 over, and his didn't count because everybody else was even or better. And each of the 5 players at one point in that 3-day tournament shot 68 or better in a round. All 5. I mean, that's nuts. That's crazy. And 3 of them are freshmen. So looks like Trae's got a nice little he's on a nice trajectory here with this golf program. And they've always been good, but yeah, they're really, really good this year.
Well said. Again, good programs. Lots of good coaches with good programs on the campus of Florida State University. Corey, I don't know if you saw this, but one of the more popular betting websites out there has released a couple game lines for week 1 of the college football season. And the big dogs, Florida State, has made the cut. Some of the other games, LSU 4.5-point favorite on UCLA, which sounds very, very paltry. Bama, 17.5-point favorite over Miami. That one's going to be in Atlanta. Chick-fil-A kickoff. Georgia, 4-point dog versus Clemson and Charlotte. And let's get to the one everybody wants to know about. Notre Dame at Florida State. Notre Dame, 9.5-point favorite. Thoughts, Corey?
That seems like a big number when Notre Dame has so many question marks. And the game was relatively close last year when the disparity was much greater between the two rosters, you would think. So, yeah, that seems like a big number to me. I would have made it more like under a touchdown, like maybe 6.5. But, hey, Vegas is what they're doing. A Vegas website, or is it like one of those online websites?
They're not a sponsor. I don't want to give them a free plug, but I think it's DraftKings. So I think they're the ones that set the lines. Yeah, man. I just right now sitting here, I'm not gonna pick Florida State to win outright, but yeah, 10 points. Yeah. Give me the points. Right?
Come on, man. That's a big number. That's a big number. That's too big. It's too big. Notre Dame. And Notre Dame just lost 2 straight games by 100.
I'm sorry.
They're not feeling good about themselves.
I'll take the points. I feel
You'll
Florida
take
State
the
will
points,
keep
right?
it. Yeah, okay,
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. The lingo. I'm not good with the lingo, everybody. I apologize. One of these I'll get better at it. But yeah, 9.5 points sounds a little too bullish for the Domers. But we'll see it soon enough. I think 108 days away as folks are listening to this, Corey. Can you believe it? In the blink of an eye, we're going to be in the teeth of football season. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
I mean, we're over 100 days away. It's not that close.
All right. Well, we can talk about baseball.
You know what I mean?
Baseball? I like baseball. You like baseball?
Hey,
Thursday,
no,
Friday,
but I was
Saturday
going to
split.
say, did you see the kid from Marshall that put his name in the portal?
Yeah. There's supposed to be. I was with Michael Langston all day Wednesday, as well as our new employee Austin Cox, formerly Austin the intern, now employee Austin Cox. We were going up to Leesburg, Georgia, to talk to a couple recruits, and sure enough, they were talking about this young man. I think his first name is Kane. Maybe his last name is Kane.
No, I can.
But yeah, nonetheless,
Yeah,
a
I
guy
think
from
his name is
Marshall.
Kane Madden.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, nonetheless, a young man from Marshall has put his name in the portal. He was a All-American to some degree last season in 2020, and there is what I believe to be mutual interest. A lot of Florida State players, coaches as well, Atkins and Dillingham, following him on Twitter. And then I think maybe Amari, I saw Jay Sean Corbin retweeted his the young man's announcement from Marshall, his transfer, and Jay Sean said, "Hey, man, we'd love to have you here." So I wouldn't think Corbin would do that unless maybe sort of wink, wink, nod, nod. Wouldn't be a bad idea to do that. So, yeah, man, I guess they do have one scholarship left. Everybody wants a left tackle. He's not a left tackle, but he is an offensive lineman.
And he's Devontae Love-Taylor tweeted at him too. It leads you to believe they've at least been told, hey, we've got a shot at this guy. Reach out to him. You know what I mean? Maybe that's illegal. I don't know if coaches are allowed to tell players to do that. I think they can. It's social media. It's 2021. All bets are off the table. But, yeah, the fact that Florida State made a considerable push on social media as soon as that became available, there's something there. That doesn't mean he's coming to Florida State, obviously, but, man, he was second-team All-American at Marshall. That would be a great get for them, a great get.
All right, I've pulled it up on what we call Pro Football Focus, Corey. Strong to very strong, Kane Madden. Offensive grade, 92.5. Pass block, 82. Run block, 93. and that was his most recent. That's incredible. I mean, it's lots of blue, lots of teal, lots of forest hunter green, and then 2019, he was 75.9 offensive grade, 79 pass block, 74.2 run block. So big jumps. Only looks like 2 penalties in his career. He's only been called for 2 penalties, and it looks like none of them have been accepted. So is that good?
Yeah, no, that's really good. I feel like he would find a place to compete at Florida State and probably have a chance to start. That would be a very nice addition. But again, that's all speculation right now. Florida State is certainly after him. You could just be on social media and see that, but we have no idea how close they are to getting him and when he would even make his decision. Or maybe he's already in Tallahassee.
And
who knows?
And I just wonder, I'm not opposed to this. I mean, I'm not opposed to what they're trying to do here, but man, you're talking about, and this is not criticism at all. It just shows you maybe this just further underscores just how bad of a segment the offensive line was, that if they were to land this kid, let's say, for instance, I would assume you're going to go left to right. You're probably still keeping Love Taylor at left tackle, Norvell edition. Left guard, probably this young man. Let me see if he's played left or right. He's played right guard. So, all right, left guard will say the kid from Notre Dame, Dylan Gibbons. Your center is Maurice Smith. Your right guard would be this young man, and then Robert Scott would be your right tackle, brought in by Norvell. So 4/5 of your offensive line would be recruited by Alex Atkins and Mike Norvell. That's crazy to think about.
Well, and 3/5 would be transfers.
Yeah.
Going back to Devontae Love Taylor too. Yeah, man, but that's college football in 2021, especially a rebuilding team. This is the stuff I just think this is the way. This is how it works now. If you're struggling in a position, you go throw a lot of bodies at it, and the portal gives you the ammunition to throw a lot of things at a problem, and you hope it works out. So yeah, that would be. Imagine if that was their starting 5, 3 guys that 2 years ago were at Notre Dame, Marshall, and FIU that are now part of the starting Florida State offensive line. That would tell you everything you need to know about college football in 2021. That's how it works now.
And then you're talking about.
I mean, Florida State's starting basketball team next year will have at least 2 transfers in it, with Mills and the kid from Kentucky. That's just how college athletics is going to be for the foreseeable future.
Well, go another level, or level up or level down, and then think about your starting 11 on offense. Either Jordan Travis or Mackenzie Milton will be your starting quarterback. Both those guys are transfers. One of your starting receivers, likely Andrew Parchment, another transfer. That's bizarre, right? I mean, I know that's like seven of your starting 11 are all transfers, new guys. But then again, this is the stuff that can give you reason to really hope and believe for a significant turnaround. Then it's one thing to think that simply the young men that you've had and you were rolling out there the last 2 years are simply going to get better marginally, incrementally, and then maybe have a little bit of a breakout. I'm a little bit too cynical to think that kind of happens. But man, you give me some new guy totally that hasn't broken my heart yet and showed me disappointment, I'll be like, yeah, man, why not? I'll believe in him. I have a little bit of optimism. So if you want to believe that 9-10 win sort of reality, I think a lot of it, sadly, if you're a current Florida State player that was recruited by the previous staff, you're probably not part of it. You're not part of the vision if you're going to think that 9 or 10 wins is a possibility. You're going to have to lean on these new guys to come in and make an impact. But hey, to your point, Corey, it is 2021 collegiate athletics. So with that said, let's get on the ponies. It's time for the Renegade Express. Let's start off in Kentucky. Bourbon is your friend. It's only May, but Corey Clark has already made the funniest unintentional comment of the year. Please refer to minute 27 through 29 of last week's Renegade Express, where Corey describes his ultimate tailgating experience. He says he wants to use the bathroom, take a shower, then get some shut-eye. That's not a tailgating experience. You have just described the afternoon schedule at a nursing home. He follows up by saying there would be no rave music, not too many people, and several televisions on silent, closed captioning for the hearing impaired. You don't want to drown out Benny Goodman in the background. Those clarinet riffs are solid gold. My next comment may sound sarcastic, but I mean it sincerely. Left to my own devices, I would not be following Florida State baseball, Florida State golf, or Florida State women's soccer. Wake Up Warchant has forced it upon me. But now I am glad that you did. Warchant is the John Pox dad of collegiate sports journalism.
Well said. And I want to emphasize, I wasn't saying that during the tailgate I would want to take a nap. Maybe I did as a joke. But like if you pull in on a Thursday night or a Friday night, you can sleep where your RV is parked.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool, right? You don't have to get a hotel. You don't have to spend $900 for a hotel. You can sleep in your RV in your spot, get up, and then watch the other games and have your I guess you'd have your James Taylor going, right? Something like that. Maybe Sade. Some college football music.
Absolutely. Next up, Matt AMCZ, also known as Mark in Naples. Wake up! Really enjoyed the interview with John Pock, Corey. Mandatory viewing for my son this week. Somehow a poster, I think it was Daryl from North Carolina, was able to get Corey to project a win total for 2021, and I think it was a fair projection even for my optimistic tendencies. It's a hard schedule, especially the second half. Don't know if you agree, but I feel like we're back in 2010 again. 2009 defense was awful, but 2010 brought new hope. I was at the Oklahoma game in Norman, and it wasn't pretty. Ooh, God. Mark, I never brought that up before. We should work through that trauma. But you could tell things were getting better after Ponder lit up Florida in November. Then we played Oklahoma tough at home in 2011. Next thing you know, we're winning 10 games again, and then the special season 2013 happens. I feel like we're going to see a repeat of 2010 this season with marked improvement and a special moment against one or more of our rivals, and then this thing takes off. Do you feel the same, or do I need a lot more patience?
Yeah, I don't know that it's necessarily 2010 again because of the reasons I just laid out a few minutes ago, in the sense that, those were all young guys that were growing up, and you knew that LaMarcus Joyner was going to be great in 2012. And you knew that Ponder, well, not Ponder, but EJ played a couple games that year. You're like, okay, there's something to be said for that guy. He has a chance to be good. And a lot of the guys that helped them win 10 games in 2010 and took the lumps in Oklahoma, they were sophomores or freshmen. And by the time 12 and 13 came around, you knew they were talented. I don't think we can say that about this bunch of freshmen and sophomores. They might be great, but I don't think we can say that. This team, if it has a 2010 type team, will be on the backs of a lot of 1 or 2 year transfers. Aslan just laid out, it's going to be at least 4 or 5 on offense. And then you got Robinson, Thomas, Bam Moore, like you got all the guys on defense too. Jermaine Johnson.
Robinson,
so you might have a starting 22 where 11 of them are first or second year, 1 or 2 year transfers. So I don't know that you can then project, okay, the next year they'll be even better because they're going to build on 2021 when a lot of the guys that helped 2021 become a 7 or 8 win team will have already already left. So that's the one difference. I do think momentum matters with a program. Obviously, momentum matters with a culture. When you're building a culture, winning is the most important thing. And the more they win, the more that helps everything. So yeah, I can see the optimism. I can see why you want it to be that way. I just think, again, the sport is so different that you're not waiting on a LaMarcus Joyner or a Telvin Smith to develop, because you're going to be winning a lot with guys that won't be here in 2 years when you're hoping to make that championship run. That makes sense.
Yeah. The one concern I kind of have, which I think a lot of people have, is also the difference was that you had a new coordinator. God love Mickey Andrews, and I do. And that was a backhanded shot at him, and I'm sorry, Mickey. I apologize. I do wonder, when we look back at 2020, I think we all can agree there was some deficiencies in talent on the defense. But there also seemed to be a lot of just, bad assignments. I don't know if it's, again, this kind of goes back to whether these guys did not pick up the scheme properly or they just were not equipped to execute the scheme. And at that point, it's a little bit of their fault, obviously, for not being athletically gifted enough, and it's a little bit of the coach's fault for putting them in positions they're not capable of performing at. But
right.
We do have.
Well, look, though, it was obvious, though, right? Like, we all remember the Oklahoma game in 2010 and how, again, Stoops could have named a score. He could have put up 90 if he wanted to. But it was his brother, the DC, on the other sideline. And they were just obliterated. They looked like they hadn't practiced that week for that Oklahoma team. But the very next week, I believe they shut out, I think it was BYU, or came close to shutting out. Like, the defense played really well. And then for the rest of the year, for the most part, played pretty darn well. It took a huge leap. The 2010 defense took a mighty big leap from 2009. And you knew after who they beat in 2010 and after the Chick-fil-A game, after the South Carolina game, you're like, yep, they've got a defensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. He is the real deal. This is a good Stoops brother. He knows what he's doing. That was a great hire by Jimbo Fisher. You have no such confidence. You couldn't. Nobody could have that kind of confidence in Adam Fuller right now. None. There was nothing we saw. Zero. From game 1 to game 9, when Duke put up 35 after getting shut out the week before by Miami. Yep, this guy's got it figured out. These guys play hard for him. He communicates well with them. They're very well coordinated. None of that happened. So, yeah, I think that's a big difference. Is you felt much more confident in the defense moving forward after 2010 with Mark Stoops than you do right now with Adam Fuller. That doesn't mean Adam Fuller isn't going to be great as a defensive coordinator or even good or whatever, but that first year it was hard to find a lot of optimism and hope just from that first year.
HelloFresh.com is America's #1 meal kit. In fact, it's been named Newsweek's most trusted meal kit company of 2021 with over 4 million households served. I'm one of them. So is Corey. So is Steph. Can we count Shanna? But who knows? Stephanie does count. Get better value, everybody. HelloFresh, 28% cheaper than shopping at the local grocery store, 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal, and you're not sacrificing the quality. Who's this all according to? Zagat Dining. They know what they're talking about. Corey, how was dinner the other night?
It was incredible. It smelled great, and it delivered. It was the best meal I've ever had from HelloFresh. And I can't it doesn't even matter what the name is because every one we have is solid. It's solid to spectacular. All of them. None have been a bust. It is legitimately restaurant quality food. It is good food. It's stuff you would expect to find at like a high scale restaurant, and you're making it in your own kitchen, Aslan.
Go to HelloFresh.com/WakeUp12. Use the promo code WakeUp12. 12 free meals, including free shipping. That is HelloFresh.com/WakeUp12. HelloFresh.com, America's #1 meal kit. Corey, back to the ponies we go here on Wake Up Warchant and the Renegade Express. We go to SQuinn67. Wake up! By the way, did we answer Mark's question ultimately? Do we feel the same about this is 2010, or do we need more patience? We thought a little bit more towards a patience thing as opposed to feeling the same, right?
Yeah, I think everybody at the end of 2010 felt like Florida State was heading in a great direction because of the players that they had just recruited, the players that were coming in that next recruiting class, what Mark Stoops had proven, what Jimbo had proven. I don't know that you could feel that way about this team because of the makeup and because of the defensive coordinator. Not that he can't be good, like I said. It's just that he certainly didn't do in his first year what Mark Stoops did in his first year.
All right, SQuinn67, friend of Black Bert, way up! Enjoyed Corey's column about RPI. If you want to see what is perpetuating these ridiculous rankings and power indices, take a look at the 4-letter Sports Network's ACC baseball page. Try to find an article or headline that does not include an SEC team. Good luck. Question for the week. Take off your media member status. If you had to choose another college sports program to be a fan of, which school would you choose and why? Well, shouldn't we keep our media member status on? Because if we take it off, we're going to be like, Florida State. Also, Corey, you can't select Georgia. Love the show. How about them Noles? That's how he signs off. All right, if I could only be a member of another. All right, I wonder about, like, is everything else the same? Like, do I work for Warchant.com and I live in Tallahassee, Florida, but I'm a Texas fan? Or am I living in Austin and I'm a Texas fan? Am I living in California and I'm a Southern Cal fan? I don't know, I'm maybe overthinking this one.
You probably are. My first instinct was Stanford. Because, hey, did you see they put in those 11?
They're back.
They reinstated those 11 sports. I mean, I know all of us felt really bad about the Stanford sailing kids. But don't worry, folks. They get their scholarships back. They get their sports back. All the kids that grew up going to Exeter and all the most expensive boarding schools in the country, they now get to sail again at Stanford. So heaven, what a wonderful time. But seriously, with Stanford, I think it's cool to watch the best in the world at stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I do like the non-revenue sports. I think it's fun to watch John Pock. And it really was fun on Wednesday to go out there and watch him just be, you can stand 5 feet from him as he's hitting a shot from 180 yards out. It's really cool. But so seeing like the best golfer in the world or the best tennis players in the world or the best rower in the country. I don't know. I think I'd get a kick out of that. So to cheer for Stanford because they are so good at so many different sports. There's no other college football, basketball programs I would care to. No. I think I have a reason to hate all of them.
I'd probably be A&M guy, just like get reunited with Jimbo.
Sure.
Just get back to
that's a good call.
To basics. Alabama,
UNLV. What about UNLV too?
UNLV. I'd say Bama. How awesome. Say what you will about that. But come on, Corey. How fun would it be? It's the dynasty on steroids. And I know I get it. They haven't finished top 5, top 4, 14 years in a row. But man, I mean, and I like Saban now. I don't know what's happened to me. I like Nick Saban now. I should say I like him. I no longer dislike Nick Saban. I used to dislike Nick Saban.
It really does seem redundant and boring at this point. There's no way that these fans, they don't. It's like cheering for the Death Star. It's like it dominates everything. There can't be that much. There's no innocence left. It's all just we are murder ball. We come in, we go 12-1 or 13-0 every single year. We get all the 5 stars we want. It's just there doesn't seem to be.
It's what you grew up on, Core. That's what you grew up rooting for. You root for the Death Star. Come on, man. Just because it's in a different color.
Yeah, I guess, but it did
he's more
Florida State.
Bobby's more charming than Nick. I get that.
And it just didn't seem. Not all those years were inevitable. It's inevitability that Alabama's going to be in the playoff and probably be in the national championship game. That clearly wasn't happening with Florida State in the 90s.
But
now, if the playoffs had been around in the 90s, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if the playoffs had been around in the 90s, I would probably feel different. Maybe. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't literally Florida State. They had 3 tough games a year. If they didn't go 3 for 3 in those games, they typically weren't going to be playing for a national championship. Alabama knows they're going to the playoff because they're not going to lose more than 1 game a year if they lose one at all. So it's just different. Like Florida State, there was real nerves when a season started in September. Man, I hope this is the year they can get to the championship game, or I hope they get to the championship game and win it. Alabama fans know they're going to be there in January. There is no worry at all. That just seems kind of boring. It's like a Duke fan wondering about making the tournament or not in basketball. It seems a little boring. I don't know.
It's like having a smoking hot significant other. Yeah, and I'm going to walk into every room. I'm going to have the best looking significant other than everybody else. It's really boring,
I mean, what does it say about you that that's the one you chose? You don't want to get on the ground floor somewhere and watch a program rise up like Stanford rowing.
You're right.
Those kids have been through so much the last 12 months.
I'm glad you
now
brought
they got
it back.
their sports back.
I'm glad you brought it back to rowing. Did you see this thing? And I should apologize because I didn't do a deep dive on it. I'm bringing it up now on a widely listened to podcast that's aggregated across the country. But apparently Clemson's track team snitched on their football team about athletes getting kind of benefits, and apparently this is the second different program at Clemson that's kind of brought negative attention to their football team. What's going on in Death Valley right now, man? Knives out?
Well, remember, oddly, the first one was an assistant coach on the Clemson basketball team that was talking about recruiting and talking about how the Clemson football team recruited and what they might do to entice athletes. Well, that assistant coach is now an assistant coach at Florida State. So, it's a small world. It's a small world, the college basketball circle. But yes, it wasn't, I guess it was the track athletes, but it was their lawyer in a Title IX, a Title IX lawsuit talked about how the football players got cars. And you can't tell me that you can't afford to have a track program when your football players are driving around in new cars. Now, who knows how. By the way, how about Dino Gaudio? Did you see that?
Jeez, fall from grace, man.
But he can't coach again.
He used to be the head coach at Wake. He took over for Skip Prosser at Wake Forest, right? Am I thinking of the right guy or no?
Yeah. And then he wasn't. Yeah, that's Dino. He took over. He's the head coach at Wake Forest. Did not do great there. Certainly did better than his successors. But then it was at ESPN for a while, and then got back in as an assistant coach. And he ratted out. He's the
Extorted.
FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he got arrested or charged with extortion for telling in a text. He's on tape saying it. Like, if you don't pay me 17 months of salary, I'm going to show the media this tape of an illegal recruiting practice. And then he also doubled down after he didn't get the answer he wanted in that meeting and texted him all that. So, his lawyer's like, yeah, unfortunately it's on tape. We can't dispute it. So imagine that guy trying to get a job again in college basketball. That's nuts. Man, Louisville basketball, baby. What a great addition to the ACC they've been. And I'm not joking. Like, they're exciting. The stuff with Pitino on a restaurant table, Lamar Jackson, this thing. But it's all, you never know with Louisville. That's the point. Like, Louisville brings a lot of excitement to the league in a myriad of ways that we wouldn't have gotten with, like, I don't know, UConn. Like, Louisville brought. I mean, they're not boring. Louisville's not boring.
There you go. Put that on the shirts. Louisville. They're not boring. There we go. All right. Next question. P. White 52. Wake up. I love listening to the show. It's always a great start to my morning. Corey's humor always makes me laugh. LOL. The RPI column, also great. Only one question. Do you think we keep a top 15 class in February? Thanks for all you guys do. Go Noles. I'll say 15. I'd put 15. Yeah, I think they'll say top 15.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I do. I mean, I do think that they're yes, I do. I just do. I mean, at Florida State too, top 15 shouldn't be incredible. That shouldn't be something that you're amazed by. Now it is a 3-6 Florida State, but still, I don't think that's something you should be incredible. It's not rarefied air to be top 15 at Florida State in recruiting. There's a lot of things that you can sell at this place. So I don't think that's outlandish at all to think they're top 15 or top 10, especially if they have a 6 or 7 or 8 win season, because again, you've doubled your win total. You're proving to prospects and coaches and parents, we are turning this thing around. Come be a part of it. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. And thank you for the compliment. The RPI column was fun to write.
All right. Yeah. Lots of good positive feedback on that. As we sit here right now on Rivals.com, the team rankings for 2022, which is the recruiting cycle that we're in right now, which I can't believe, 2022, man. What's happened in the last 2 years? Florida State is in the top 10 as we sit here. I'm waiting for the final tally to pull up, because maybe it's my internet that's causing all the problems, Corey. Maybe it's not your internet. Maybe it's Aslan's internet that's creating some of the audio issues that our folks have to deal with, which we appreciate you all dealing with it and not yelling at me about it. And it's not going to pull up. What a good stall tactic gone awry. Oh, number 8. There they are. Thank you. I guess the computer listens to me, can hear me. They're number 8 right now with 9 total commitments.
Nice. Okay.
1 5-star, 3 4-stars, and 5 3-stars. So, yeah, they'll hang around there.
Yeah, hang in there.
I think they'll hang around there. I'll take that one. All right, next one. Maybe we'll shut it down after this one, so we have something to talk about on tomorrow's show. So we give you folks 4 shows, 4 programs in 1 week in May. Who loves you? Who loves you? XDQ004.
And I think, Aslan, can I go ahead and say this? I
Please.
think tomorrow we might do an in-person show again.
Ooh, really?
I'm a little bit tired of the wireless problems. I know you guys are too. I apologize. I don't know if it's me or not. I've tried everything. They do a lot better when I'm in Atlanta than when I'm in Tallahassee. So maybe tomorrow, Aslan, you'll invite me over to the studio and we can do it face to face.
Man, it's not very set up, but I'll make it work for Corey Clark. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, I was in Leesburg, Georgia. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier in the show, but
you did not. No,
was up in Leesburg, Georgia, Lee County High School for a recruiting segment, which will probably drop in early next week. And I pulled out that little recording box that you and I would use when you would record in person, and the last file on it was February 5th, 2020, which is 469 days ago.
Isn't that crazy? That's what we used to do. Like, we I guess we did this when I would go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But when I was in Tallahassee, I was always with you.
You were adamant too. Like, I was like, hey man, you can record from your house in Tallahassee. Like, nah, man, I'm in town. I'll come over. It sounds better that way.
No, like, you're Musk. I feel like I know we have a better conversation when we can smell each other. And we can't do that on Zoom or on StreamYard or any things we use. So, yeah, man, I think it's a better show if we can do it. But yeah, I know that's saying a lot because you did just move. So we'll figure it out though, folks. We'll get all this squared away, and it's gonna be the best listening experience of your life.
XDQ004 says, "Wake up! I have an easy question this week. What was the best game you attended? One as a fan, one as a warchant.com employee that wasn't for a national championship. Go Noles!" All right, best one I attended, that wasn't national championship as a fan. Probably Florida game 2003, Ricks to PK. That's the only time I've been inside that dump, and I saw them lost. Saw those losers lose, do what they do best, choke it away. That was amazing. They can never take that away from me, even though they carried away Ron Zook 12 months later, victoriously off the field in my last game as a student. But hey, 2003, that happened. That was a real thing. As a warchant.com employee, I mean, your boy's only been here since 2018, y'all. Same thing with Corey. Yeah. You're not really giving us a lot to pick from.
Not a lot of championship moments in our history as Warchant employees.
I mean, what is the best win since we've both been working for Warchant, Corey? Like the Boston College
I think
game
my
in 18
favorite
or 19?
I was going to say I'm not even doing football because there isn't a football answer. There isn't. It's that Louisville basketball game from 2020.
Okay,
with the Patrick Williams dunk and the Trent Forrest dunk.
Okay.
Just that energy, that excitement, that fandom. It was literally like my last sports moment that I remember from before the pandemic, and it was an awesome one. And it was a great team and a great win, a great comeback, all that. That was probably my favorite as a Warchant employee. As a non-Warchant employee / fan, I mean, I wasn't a fan for this one, but the one that comes to mind was when I was at the Democrat, which was, of course, the Auburn game. I mean, that was a great game. It gets lost in the shuffle of national championship games for some reason with like Clemson, Alabama, and then the
no, but it says you can't be a national championship game.
Oh, I thought he said it can't be a national championship game.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said okay. Sorry, I was confused. Hey, boy, that changes the whole. The 99 or 98 Florida games were awesome. The Peter Warwick game in 98 where Rooster. Wasn't great, but did his part. And then Peter Warwick was incredible and threw the touchdown pass to Dugans. That's right up there. It's what's frustrating about it is so many of Florida State's greatest games they lost. Like the 87 Miami game is one of the best college football games that's ever been played. But Bowden went for 2 and they didn't get it. It was an unbelievable game. Those wide rights were really good games. That's a tough one. Aslan?
Yeah.
Maybe one of those Georgia Tech ACC championship games.
Okay. There you go.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about a game that's not Florida State related? But we're a Florida State podcast, and you've been covering Florida State since 2007. So I'm gonna make you reach back that far back.
Oh, I got
Georgia?
one. I think I got one.
Student. Go ahead.
I got one. The 2012 Clemson game.
Okay.
They got down by a lot. They had 600 yards offense. Clemson had what's his name? Sammy Watkins and Hopkins, Taj Boyd. I mean, that was a loaded offense that they had. And Florida State won, I think, 49-37. And Chris Thompson was incredible. And they had to come from behind when it looked.
Yeah,
I think Ellington might have been the running back. Yeah. So that was a great college football game. And Clemson, I think, ended up maybe going 11-2 that year. Like they were really good too. So I'd say the 2012 Clemson game was a really, really fun game.
I covered some good games in Mississippi. Again, they're not Florida State related. The Egg Bowl in overtime. That Dak Prescott came off the bench injured and subbed in and got it out a touchdown to tie it up, sent it to overtime, and then in overtime they scored first. Ole Miss fumbled in the end zone. I was talking to Austin Cox, former intern, now full-time employee with Warchant, he was talking about the Nick O'Leary making the catches against Florida in 2014. And that was the same, that the Florida State game is going on 2014, same time as the Egg Bowl, which Mississippi State, if they would have won that, might have been able to sneak into the playoff. And, like, I'm looking at my phone the whole time, and it's just like, oh, no. Like, are we going to lose this game? But we didn't. We did not. Yeah, Grove went crazy for that game. And they beat Alabama that year, and there was a human crush on the field. That was kind of cool, too. Other than I might have died, but I lived, I survived. All right, let's go on this one. This is a funny one, and then we'll come back tomorrow. We'll do another one. Eskimo Randy. These are a lot of Corey love. Corey.
Okay.
As the only other person I know of who is equally passionate about the Atlanta Hawks and Florida State, I have to congratulate you on the Hawks making the playoffs. I'll ask what I have to assume is the only Hawks-Florida State crossover question ever on this show. If you had to describe the experience of watching Trae Young to watching any FSU football player, who would it be? Also, can we get a prediction on the Knicks series?
I mean, I'm an Atlanta sports fan, so the Knicks are going to win. That's my prediction. I would say the first thing that comes to mind with Trae Young, because he does some incredible things, is like 1992 Charlie Ward. Like, because Charlie Ward still made some incredible plays in 1992, but he also led the world in turnovers. And Trae Young will make 4 or 5 passes a game where you're like, that's the most incredible pass I've ever seen a 5'10" or a 6-foot guy make in the world. And then he'll also make 4 or 5 passes where you're like, Brady wouldn't have made that pass. Who are you throwing it to, Trae? And I think he'll lose some of that, but also it just reminds me of first-year starter Charlie Ward. Like, just he was really exciting. He won games, sure, but he made some incredible plays and some plays that made you throw your hands up. Like, man, Charlie, you didn't see that guy? He's wearing orange, and he's right there in the middle of the field. That's who you threw it to. So that's my first instinct would be him. But I think Trae Young's better than I thought he was. He's already better than I thought he was ever going to be. So he gets to the line a lot. I know this is what people wanted to hear is my Trae Young dissertation, but the kid he's like second or third in the league in free throw attempts. At that size. I thought when the Hawks got him, he was just going to shoot a bunch of 30-footers. Now, he still does that, but he gets into the paint, he scores a lot in the paint, and gets to the line a ton. So that's cool, man. As a fan of a kid that's 22 or whatever he is, and he's already this elite a scorer and getting to the line, it's cool to know that they'll probably have him for another, 7 or 8 years.
I mean, you're never going to be.
But he's not Luka. He's not Luka. Nope.
Yeah.
He's not Luka. Nope.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. All right, that's a wrap.
Was that a good? That was a pretty good comparison, right?
I was
Charlie,
say, almost
92 Charlie.
But it sounds like the lows you were describing almost sounded more like Chris Ricks. You're like, you didn't see that? Like, it's like being Trae Young, but obviously he's not had the highs that like Charlie.
Right.
So that
right. See, that's the thing. And Charlie Ward, as bad as he was at the beginning of that season, or as many bad moments as he had in '92, he was still the ACC Player of the Year. And people only think like, okay, those last 3 games is when he took off. Well, no, they were winning every game before that, and he led like 2 come-from-behind victories even when he was struggling. So that's why I said, like, he wasn't just a 3-game wonder. Charlie Ward was still good, even though he made you throw up your hands a lot. And that's kind of where Trae Young is, in my opinion, right now. But I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs. I don't expect them to win. Why would they? It's Atlanta. But still, it's a good experience for them and for us, Aslan. Them and for us. And Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann gets his first playoff experience for the Clippers. So that'll be fun to watch, too.
All right, there we go. We're done. Here's a little bit of a teaser for tomorrow. It comes from Primetime, who asks us questions not involving football. He wants to know for tomorrow, Corey, name an achievement that is still on your bucket list. So he wants to know something that's still on your bucket list, my bucket list. Share yours, everybody.
Okay.
Leave a comment. Tribal Council thread is still open. I'll still leave it open for you folks in the morning. Go ahead, post your question. We'll do another program for you folks on Friday. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hunkering down and dealing with all the topsy-turviness that is this show. But it's what makes us great, Corey, right? It's what makes us great. It makes us endearing. We're a little bit rough around the edges.
Yep.
A little bit. Just a
Absolutely.
He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.